Hello everyone, I'm Trains for Life, and today I thought it would be fun to show you all my model train collection. My primary scale is HL, but I have acquired some N scale from friends. My favorite region to collect is Northern New England, with some exceptions that are just engines or rolling stock that I like. So, without any further delay, let's begin. Starting off with my Pennsylvania Railroad GG1, made by Broadway Limited Imports. This engine has given me no problems. It's built well, and because of the almost full die-cast construction, it's very strong. After buying this engine, I knew that I needed some coaches to go behind it, so I did some research and wanted to recreate the Senator, with its silver coaches. The coaches I have are all Walther's Mainline, 2 85-foot Bud baggage lounges, and 2 85-foot Bud diners. These coaches are based off of a New York Central design with Pennsylvania Railroad paint, but they get the job done. The newest addition is a Walther's Proto B60B baggage car for the Railway Express Agency. This was a train show purchase, and I thought it would look great in this consist. I think that I was right. Next is an Atlas CSX GE C30-7. It doesn't have any sound, and the handrails need to be fixed, but a great engine nonetheless. I also wanted a chain for this engine, and I like seeing intermodals, so I bought the Walther's Mainline all 5-unit rebuilt 40-foot well cars. The containers for these cars are 3 Walther's Ocean Network Express 40-footers, 3 Capital Shipping 40-footers by Athearn, and a Walther's CP Ships 20-foot container. I then added a Rapido Gunderson 53-foot Husky stack, which came with its own 2 containers, a CSX and a Canadian National 53-footer. The latest addition to this train, a Walther's Mainline 89-foot channel-side flat car, for my 2 Bachmann Boston & Maine piggyback trailers. These all make a nice looking train. Not always a smooth train though, since my track is a little tight, but great nonetheless. The trailers also come with a truck tab for when I want them being delivered by road. First, 009 scale locomotive, Prince, a small England class from the Fustinian Railway. This was a model made by Cotto and Pico, a small little narrow gauge engine that runs very well. I love narrow gauge engines, and I would like to acquire more of them at one point. Prince is pulling the Bachmann Scullery Railway coach, based off of Tallyclin Railway coach number 4. My other 009 scale locomotive is a Bachmann Rusty, currently with the Bachmann Blue Scullery Railway brake van. The brake van did lose a buffer at one point, but it, as well as Rusty, are all swell runners. This New England Central EMD GP38 by Atlas is my most reliable runner, as it can be converted from DC to DCC mode with just a switch of a pin. I also love how good this locomotive looks. The couplers are not great for heavy loads on hills, but the model is great and the couplers are an easy fix. This engine was pulling a freight train consisting of a Walther's Mainline 40-foot PS1 boxcar from Boston & Maine, a Maine Central 70-ton covered hopper by Bowser, a Bachmann 40-foot boxcar in a green Maine Central scheme, 4 Boston & Maine 40-foot woodchip hoppers made by Athearn, an Athearn Maine Central 40-foot boxcar, another Bachmann 40-foot boxcar, but this time in Boston & Maine, a Walther's Mainline 40-foot ACF welded 8-foot door boxcar in Maine Central, a KD 40-foot PS1 boxcar in Maine Central Maroon, and finally an Athearn Roundhouse Maine Central 4-window caboose. This Rapido GE 44-tonner from the Claremont and Concord Railroad was recommended by a college buddy, shout out to Hamburg Railfan, and given to me as a Christmas gift from my grandmother. A nice locomotive from my region, and goes well with the New England Central engine. My one problem would be that the capacitors are not great, so any dead spots messes it up. The first of a couple of high hoods, a Boston & Maine EMD GP9 by Walther's Mainline. A fantastic train show find, in my favorite paint scheme from the Boston & Maine Railroad. The GP9 is pulling 4 89-foot tri-level shielded auto racks in the Boston & Maine scheme from Walther's Mainline. These are very detailed cars, but they don't like my current calves. the 89-foot channel-side flat car you have seen already. Another one that is close to home, a Conway Scenic Railroad GE U23B by Atlas. I unfortunately never saw this engine in person, but think that it's cool nonetheless. To continue with the N-scale trend, an Athearn EMD F45, painted in a custom Kodachrome paint scheme. I think that the history of the Southern Pacific Santa Fe Railroad is fascinating. The following items were all given to me by a friend, who was downsizing their N-scale collection, starting off with a high hood, the MKT EMD GP7, made by Cutto. And since I wanted something for the engine to pull, an Atlas MKT 90-ton hopper. One of my favorite types of locomotives, the EMD F40 PHR in Amtrak Phase 3 by Mahano, pulling two Amtrak Superliner diners by Concord, one being a Phase 2 and the other being a Phase 3. The next piece is a Santa Fe GE-8 40CW by Bachmann Spectrum. Lastly, two Norfolk Southern SD60s by Atlas. Both are very fine runners, and I enjoy double-heading these two together. My final N-scale item was also a gift from a friend, a Boston and Maine 50-foot standard boxcar with plug doors for milk deliveries by Microtrains. Southern Pacific EMD GP9 by Athearn is an older model that is not the smoothest runner, but considering it didn't move when I got it, I will take that. The Southern Pacific Bloody Nose scheme looks great, and I love high hoods, so this is perfect. This locomotive, as well as the rolling stock behind it, are all old-style couplers. This 40-foot reefer by Athearn for the Bangor and the Rustic with the State of Maine paint scheme looks great. The Union Pacific Maintenance Away 40-foot gondola, the Old Dutch Cleanser boxcar, and the GATX boxcar with the Spirit of 76 paint are all old Tyco items that work fine as background rolling stock. I am not the biggest fan of the Concord Pennsylvania Railroad 85-foot corrugated coach. I bought it wanting more silver coaches, but didn't realize the no interior detailing or the wrong couplers. I have two more Tyco products I got at the same time. A Southern Railroad bulkhead flat with a removable log load, and an Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe flat car. These two are unfortunately missing various parts, which is why they're not running. My one and only steam engine, a Bachmann Prairie 262, with no specific decals. One's okay for a Bachmann product, but the front and back wheel sets, like the derail at the track, isn't quite level. This locomotive was pulling three model power items, a 40-foot flat car with a log load, a 40-foot gondola from the Pennsylvania Railroad, and a Texaco chemical tanker. They all run fine. They don't have metal wheels or couplers, but they do get the job done. The Boston and Maine Jeep 9 is back again, now pulling a 60-foot raw material handling car by Walther's Mainline. I love passenger equipment, so I'm collecting all the Amtrak that I can. Behind that is an 85-foot Budd Dome coach, also by Walther's Mainline, this time in an Amtrak Phase 1. Following that is a fictional Coca-Cola Dome cow that my grandfather got me from Hawthorne Village, along with the Coca-Cola B unit at the end of the train. And the Coca-Cola locomotive itself wasn't walking while I was filming. Another piece that doesn't walk right now, a Walther's Mainline Amtrak Horizon coach. While this coach looks great, some of the details prevent the wheels from turning on a tight radius. I will get some tractor that will walk on eventually. And that concludes my collection, at least as of June of 2026. Who knows how long it will take for this video to become out of date. In the meantime, I hope you have all enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below of what train you think I should get next. And I'm gonna go run my trains now. Goodbye!